Thanks to EA for the free game code. Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Akron Zips Dynasty mode here in CFB 26. So in last episode, if you did not catch it, we basically were just going through our roster and also basically looking at the recruiting board. So wasn't too much of an episode, but we were setting up things and kind of getting familiar with the mode a little bit too. So I'm excited to actually get into this episode. I think what we're going to try and do with these early years is kind of go through the entire season in one episode, then the entire off season in an episode. But obviously, once we become more of a better team, we're obviously going to take the seasons a bit slower. But I think right now it makes more sense for us to get through these early seasons as fast as possible so we could start building this team up and hopefully getting this team into being a good team in the next number of years. So with that said, anyways, let's get in your guys' comments from the last episode, and then we will get into starting recruiting some players, hopefully, or starting to scout out some players and find out who should be joining this team, hopefully, for the upcoming year. So the first two comments are from Relaxing Ghost. The first one says, I only know that LeBron James went to Akron, but it was the high school, LOL. And yeah, that's the only thing I know about Akron as well. I knew it was in Ohio, and I know that LeBron's from there. I think Steph Curry's from there as well. So I guess it's kind of like a place where a lot of talented people come out of, so it'll be interesting to see if we could turn the school into talent. I'm surprised that the school is as bad as it is if it's in Akron, and if Akron has like a lot of athletes come to it, maybe they're more basketball related than I guess football, but kind of surprised that the school is not highly rated as some of the players that came from Akron are. Also, Ghost says, pretty sure the RS is for red shirts. They sit out the entire season, but are eligible for 4 years. Not sure how that works in game. Probably like leaving NHL prospects unsigned or an ELC. So, yeah, RS, I did find that out, is red shirt, and that means that they have 4 years instead of the normal 3 years, I think it is. So that means that basically we wouldn't lose them after, I guess, the 3 years. They would be able to come back for another year of eligibility or something like that. And I think they also sit out for some games during the season or something like that. So it's basically like you're not burning a year on their contract or something, so to speak, I'm guessing. That's at least how I would think it is. But yeah, I do appreciate you telling me what an RS is, because honestly, I had no idea what that was in the last episode, but at least now I know what it is. The next comment is from Johnny Harrison III, who says, Kennesaw State is in Georgia, by the way, and thank you for that. I honestly had no idea where it was, and I found out that it's just outside of Atlanta, so at least I know where that is now. There's a lot of schools where I still don't know where the heck they are, but at least I'm kind of learning a little bit more about where all these schools are in the United States of America. The next comment is from VLAX, who says, freshman is the first year, sophomore is the second year, junior is the third year, and senior is the last year. So I guess there's actually technically, yeah, those 4 years of eligibility. So if we end up drafting anybody that's technically, I guess if we go to the recruiting board, for instance, here, I know also that JUCO means junior college. I guess junior college would be the third year option. So like a player, like who's a JUCO here? This Mastrud guy, he's a JUCO junior. It says, I'm guessing that means that he'd only be eligible to play with our team for the last 2 years, potentially. I'm not too sure if that's accurate or not, but that's what I would assume you mean by that junior's third year, but I could be completely wrong. And the last two and final comments are from Dylan Burrows. The first one says, recruiting will be critical, focus on high star players, and then settle for lower ones. You should be able to get 3/4 stars, or 3 or 4 star players. And so one thing that I did notice, I was talking with Nick in the Discord, because obviously I have a Discord. If you haven't joined it, go join it. But anyways, I was talking to him about this mode, and he was thinking that we could probably go for some 3 stars. He said it's probably not worth our time to go for 4-star players. So I think what we're going to be doing is scouting out some 3-star guys, and basically we are going to be doing people that have a good proximity to home, because that will get us bodies into our organization. Right now, proximity to home is probably the best thing we could have for a deal breaker for players to join our team. So we will probably bring in a lot of people that are close to us, and that hopefully will get us people into the organization easier. And then eventually we could start looking at other deal breakers to bring in really good players down the road. But we probably don't want to build up too quick, because some of the other guys we can't really promise on holding on to them, because they might want to have a good coach, stuff like that. Also, lastly, Dylan says, also getting your skill points to level 2 is super important, as that will increase starting interest in those positions. So yeah, with the coaching upgrades, we are going to actually do that first and foremost. So let's go to upgrade coaching skills. And what we're basically going to do here, since we don't have anything else unlocked at the moment, we're going to go to Recruiter, and we're going to spend 1 point in each of these areas here. so that way we could help find ourselves, scout some people out a little bit easier. As you can see, though, it says quarterbacks take less time to fully scout. So basically, each of these will help us scout people out faster so we can get more information about them, and hopefully we can maybe get more bodies into this team. So let's get all these on, and that will help us find some more players faster, and we could fill this organization hopefully faster too. Because obviously recruiting in these early stages are going to be pretty crucial, just because our team is obviously pretty terrible, and we want to make them better potentially next season if we can. But I don't know if they will be better next season. It really depends on if we lose a bunch of people or not. So we'll just do one on each of those, and we still have 46 coins, so we could still do more technically, so we could get some increased starting interest on these players. We might as well do that already because we don't have the coins. We'll get coins after every week and stuff, simulating too. So let's actually do 2 on each of these if we have the coins, which I don't know if we will. But yeah, we probably won't. Yeah, we only have enough for 5 of them, so we do need to still get those 3 up, but we could get those up in a few weeks or something like that. But I think that will just give us a little bit more information for recruiting, and I think that will help us a lot because we just need bodies basically at this point. So anyways, let's get into some recruiting, and like I said, we're going to try and get through this entire season in this episode, so hopefully this isn't a long episode. I already know I had to make a lot of cuts because my voice has just been destroyed for no reason because I was recording before this. But I did add some 3 stars to our list in between episodes. I didn't show you guys that, but there are some 3-star people we're going to try and start out scouting here in this episode that might be able to come to this team. They don't have interest in us, but we might be able to still get them, so we might as well try and get them signed up. So, or not signed up, but recruited to this team, or at least in the race for them, basically. Like, we won't win them for a while, but let's start scouting out some of these dudes. So we're going to start off with this Thad Tanyan guy. I feel like my face is in the way in the screen because it's literally blocking like how tall this guy is and all that, but it's not blocking like the pocket passer and stuff. I don't know, it actually is. Yeah, I don't really know where I should put this. Maybe I'll move my face down here for the screen. Yeah, that actually might not be a bad spot. Okay. Let's go talk to Tanyan anyways. Let's do some scouting on his attributes, see how good he is. 90 throw power. Damn. That throw power seems really intriguing. I think I want to fully scout this guy. He's also got 73 acceleration. So right now it looks like he's going to be a really good, like, he's going to have that throw power, but is he going to have that accuracy too? Accuracy is not that bad. 76 on deep, 76 on medium. So I do really like the way this guy's looking so far. Obviously, I don't know if we're going to be able to get him for sure, but we might as well spend another 10 hours and get him fully scouted. Short accuracy is an 85. Yeah, this guy's a pretty good quarterback. Like, he's not going to be like the guy that runs with the ball, but he should be a really good passer based on that power and the accuracy and stuff. So, yeah, I do like the looks of him. I think we're only going to spend... we're going to do scouting, I think, for the first week. And then the second week on some of these dudes, maybe we'll add, like, not scholarships, but search social media and all that. So we just want to find out the base level on some of these guys, who's the ones that should be targets. So let's also do one more quarterback. So let's do DeAndre Dent, find out about him. 60 awareness isn't very good, but maybe he has some other good attributes. Throw power is good, but his deep accuracy is terrible. His speed and acceleration is good, so he's definitely a guy that could run around with the ball too, like a scrambler, I guess they call it. His accuracy is not the best. He does have good throw power, but I feel like he's more of a guy that I would consider a runner. Like, he could definitely throw the ball far, but is he going to hit the guys in the end zone? Tough to say. He is an athlete, though, which means we could play him at other positions, too, if we did draft this guy. Like, he's not locked in, really, as a quarterback. So we could probably also use him as something else because he's got that speed, but right now, that's interesting. We still have 315 hours, so let's see who else we want to look into. Let's go to... I feel like we should look at some of the other positions too, but let's continue with the quarterbacks for now. Let's look at Brendan or Redmond, see if he's good at all. Short accuracy is 72. He's not looking the greatest so far. He's a dual threat as well, so he's probably not the best. Tanyan, to me, is probably the one I would look at the most right now. This guy, though, has 84 acceleration, so he's probably more of a runner as well. Oh, he's a bust. Ew, that's not great. So yeah, Brendan Redmond is definitely somebody we probably wouldn't look into. I'd say he's better almost than Dent as a quarterback, but more because he's got better accuracy. But we could use this guy in a different position, and he might be okay because he's got good speed and acceleration at least. So maybe we look into bringing him in and changing his position. But I think right now, Tanyan's first. I'd maybe look into using Dent as a different position. Redmond being a bust, I don't think he's worth looking into too much, but obviously we could still. Let's also look into Cobbs, and we'll also look into this 2-star Mistrud, actually, I think, too. Actually, let's look into Mistrud right now. We'll leave Cobbs for now. Actually, Mistrud's a junior, though. I prefer the high school guys, obviously, of course. Let's do a little bit more on the quarterback. Sure, why not? We can look at the other positions here shortly, too. Cobbs is not looking great here with that first scout. Accuracy is pretty trash. Under pressure is trash. Let's do one more scout and see how that is. Speed's good. He's just a pure runner, apparently, according to his archetype. And I'm seeing that right now with his speed. Definitely. He's got a good throw on run, so he could throw it decently when he's running. But, I feel like this episode's going to be long just because we have to go through so many prospects and all that, so. Is it worth to scout him out fully? Sure, let's just do it. Throw power is 81. Acceleration's 87. Yeah, he does have a lot of speed, and he's got good throw power and on the run, but his accuracy is pretty mid, so I don't know if he'd be good to look into. Right now, I think Tanyan's probably still the best. And we'll also look into Mistrud for now, and we'll look in some other positions because I don't want to do every single quarterback in this one first week. Mistrud right now has good accelerations. He's a dual threat, apparently, so maybe he's a guy that we could look into if we can't get Tanyan, of course, because Tanyan's going to be much harder. He's decent enough on accuracy. Like, he's definitely better than some of those 3-stars on the accuracy, not on the deep accuracy, but on medium and short. His throw power is pretty good. I don't think he's terrible for being a 2-star, but he's not crazy. He's not crazy. Does have a fan favorite mental, though, which is interesting. Which I didn't even mention these. Cobbs has winning time and roller coaster. Redmond has road dog and headstrong. Dent has road dog. And Tanyan has fan favorite. Alright, so I think I'd be maybe interested in Mistrud if we don't get Tanyan right now. Obviously, we won't get him for weeks and stuff, but we probably want to focus our attention right now to Tanyan for quarterbacks. In terms of halfbacks, let's take a look at these. We do have a couple 3-star ones here that I added as well in between episodes. Let's start off with Dion Branham. Sign out about him. Break tackle in 81. That's good. 80 speed. Let's do another one. He's looking decent so far. His carrying's an 84. Acceleration's an 86. I like that he's got good speed and then also that he can break tackles. His juke move is not good. Spin move, so he's not very, like, he's not going to, like, spin people out and all that shit, but he looks strong. Let's do one more. Alright. Alright, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. I think he would be a good option, but obviously he's not going to be, like, deking people out. I don't know what BC Vision stands for, if anybody could let me know on that. But yeah, Branham's not bad. Does have roller coaster and road dog, and his ability is sidekick, so he does have some ability. It's just interesting. Let's also look at Tompkins here. Find out about him. Acceleration 85, break tackle 75. Speed 83. A little bit more athletic with the juke moves. Change of direction 84. 82 carrying. He's not bad. If we compare him and Branham, both of them don't have the highest awareness. Branham could break more tackles, so maybe Branham's a bit more stronger, but they're pretty similar. But the juke move is way different with Tompkins, so I don't know if I'd prioritize either one of those guys right now. Soto, we could always look into. We only have 165 more hours this week. I got to go through this a little bit quicker, because if we're going to get through 8+ weeks, 14 weeks, this episode could be very long if I continue like this. Let's go through Soto, find out about him. He's not looking the greatest so far. He is really fast. That's one thing that's kind of nice. He does also break the tackle decently, and Karen's good. I'd say he's decent, too. But, obviously, catching's a bit of a bad thing, but I guess technically if he's the halfback, isn't a halfback technically the one that gets the ball from the quarterback? Like, if that's like a handoff type of thing? I'm trying to remember which areas halfbacks are, but that might not be that bad if he's running with the ball a lot. Let's go down to some 2-stars here that have us high up on their list, which these are sorted by how high they are on our list. We're third on Truin's list, so let's find out about Truin, just because maybe he's one of these guys we could actually get for sure. 80 speed, 80 acceleration, break tackles of 75, 78 carrying, change direction 73. He actually looks not too bad for a 2-star. Like, he doesn't have any crazy low attributes other than that awareness, and of course his juke move and spin move too, but I don't mind Truin. He doesn't have any mentals though, so he's a little bit more lower end, but he still might not be a bad option for us. Let's go to some other positions. We only have 105 hours left this week, so let's take a look at some other dudes. We don't have any 3-stars put here yet for left guard, so we'll just do the 2-star left guards for the time being here. This guy's not looking great after 2 scouts. Yeah, I don't think he's worth scouting out right now. What about Carswell? Not great either. A lot of these guys being 2-stars shouldn't be super good. Ooh, Carswell's a gem. Okay, well, that's good. I was kind of surprised on that. He's got really good impact blocking. And he's got very good strength, too. 89 strength. So, Mitch Carswell might be somebody to look into in this episode. We do have him as... we are his top school right now. Yeah, Carswell's definitely somebody I could look into. I know he's a gem. He's not going to be the best gem in the world, but he's at least a gem, right? Let's also just get Heaney fully scouted, and he's not a gem. So I'd say Carswell's probably somebody I like so far. Maybe I should start favoriting people already, too. I don't know. Right guards. Defensive tackle. Let's look at defensive tackle here briefly, too, while we're at it. We don't have a lot of hours left. We have almost used all our hours. Provo, good strength, acceleration, solid, tackles, decent. It's not terrible, I guess. We only have 15 more hours. Let's try and get started on somebody. And yeah, we got to go through these weeks a lot faster because I don't know how I'm supposed to get through an entire season in an episode, but that's what Nick recommended. But I feel like it's going to take way too long because there's a lot of people to scout out, so... I don't know if any of you guys like to sit for hours and hours and watch these type of things, but let's just go something on Vic for 10. Good strength, not great speed, so that's I don't know about having not good speed. I feel like speed's important. Maybe not for a defensive tackle, but the strength at least is good. All right, so let's go back and we will advance our first week of action, I guess, which is advancing through the preseason or part of the preseason, I guess. Yeah, that's what we'll do. So let's advance, and we'll use more of our hours next week and find out what we could do. Yeah, I think this part of the screen might be the best place for me. I know some people don't like the lower left corner, but honestly, I was blocking things when I was in the top right. So still 61s across the board, 134th school. Wow, we're the second worst school. We're just above the Delaware team, which I can't remember what they're called, but there we go. All right, so we're in the bye week. We could start doing some recruiting, so let's keep that up. Here we have 300 hours. Dent has locked us out. Damn, why has he locked us out? Is it because of not his deal breaker or something like that? Damn, that's unfortunate. Because I was thinking Dent could be interesting, but he's already locked us out, so let's remove Dent, I guess, since he's locked us out for the time being. Mastrud wow, we dropped off and oh no, some teams are starting to take the giant jump, man. I don't feel like we're gonna have a good chance of winning some of these dudes. Tanyan, we're not even in his top 8 at all right now. Redmond, we're not in the top 8. Cobbs, we are nowhere there. Mastrud, we are 5th right now, so we need a lot of work to do. But there's some other schools interested in Mastrud. Oh man, this seems like it's gonna be a really tough challenge just based on this early on. Abram, though, it looks like we might be able to get this guy if we work on him, but North Carolina, I think it isn't first. Did I scout him at all? No, I didn't. Let's try and find out some stuff on him. And good throw power. His accuracy is kind of just average, I guess. Speed and acceleration is good. He's not terrible. Maybe we will search some social media on him just because... And then we'll come back to Mastrud and try and also get a little bit more interest by maybe some DMing him. Because I do have a lot more interest in him, I feel like, than some of these other 3-star quarterbacks. So let's DM him. But yeah, these top quarterbacks, I don't think there's going to be much of a chance to get them, but we obviously should just try anyway, so we'll just go DM the player on that, see if we could get into Tanyan's list at all. Aside from that, though, let's go back to Branham. Where are we on Branham's list, or are we on his list now? No, we're not. I feel like it's going to be really tough to win these 3 stars. I just don't think we have a lot of a chance. We might honestly just have to stick with the 2-star players. But some of them are already having teams way more interested in them. I feel like this is going to be a really tough series at this point. Let's go to Labinho and find out about him, because we're still in his top 8. And we are also not too far off the top, I don't feel like. Labinho, ooh, good speed and acceleration. But that's it, pretty much. I do like the spin and acceleration, but everything else is kind of eh. But let's find out maybe a little bit more about him, do some searching on social media. Heaney, I should probably just get out some other people. Carswell was the gem, and he has us as 5th, so damn, whoever's in 1st right now has a lot more interest in us, though. Oh my goodness. I feel like this is going to be really tough, man. I'm already regretting taking a really low-end team almost in a sense. Like, I do like the challenge of it, but holy crap, man. Like, we have, like, no chance to grab a lot of these guys, it feels like. Like, I feel like this is going to be a really tough task, but let's find out more about some other dudes like Barry Boss for now. 83 impact blocking. Everything else, not the craziest, to be honest. I could remove some of these guys from this recruiting board for the time being and keep the ones that I want on the recruiting board. So let's remove a couple people. We obviously could look into them more so soon, but I just want to free up some room on the recruiting board a bit. Let's find out a little bit more about Vic, who has good tackling, of course, because he's really strong, but not great speed. But that doesn't matter too much, I don't think, for him. I don't know. I honestly don't know what makes good attributes, too, really, so, for certain positions. So I'm kind of just going into this blindly. Let's check on Zentner, since we need to look at these Sams as well. 75 speed. 80 acceleration. I mean, he's got some speed to his game. I don't know if that's needed, but, what else do we got here? I feel like we need to, like, be aggressively pursuing some people, though. Coates. Not terrible. Good speed and acceleration again. Let's also go for Johnny Board here and look at him. Not the craziest. Good speed and acceleration again. Yeah, I don't know how I'm supposed to go through an entire episode super quick, man. Our entire season super quick. Because I feel like I've already been recording for a very long time, but I've not been recording for a super long time. Let's try and get maybe a bit more actually stuff thrown at Tanyan and all that, just because we know that he's a guy I really want, but I don't know if I'll be able to get him even when I try this much. So let's also search social media on him. And then we'll go down to Redmond, who's... Redmond's a bust, though. Cobbs wasn't super intriguing. Let's also get more stuff on Mistrud, because I feel like he should be somebody we definitely look into, since he had us on our list, on his list. We just need to get our interest way up there, that influence. But I feel like it's going to be really tough to compete with some of these higher-end schools. Like, yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot of work. Let's find out a little bit about Humphreys while we're at it. Yeah, he's not gonna be a guy that plays quarterback. I can tell you that. Doesn't have a good throw. Does have the speed and acceleration though, so he could probably be more of like a running back, my guess. Does have roller coaster as a mental. Huh. It's kind of surprising for a 2-star to have a mental, I guess. Who else do we want to look at here? Oh yeah, there was Eric Ellis too that had us high up on his list, but now we're in 9th because of this. Oh my god. I feel a little bit overwhelmed here. We're not going to get all these guys that we want, which obviously we aren't going to get every single person we want, but I feel like there's a lot of work to do. Alright, so that's another week done. Let's go to this and go to the next week. I hope I can get through an entire season in this episode without it being boring. Oh boy. Okay, so a lot of people have already locked us out here early on, which is not what I was expecting. Oh, man, I have to go back to it after it stops this stuff. I hate how it just advances to the next part. But anyways, a lot of people have already locked us out of their top 8, which is surprising that it's already this quick. So Cobbs has already locked us out. Same with Eric Ellis. We were literally just looking at. Tompkins has locked us out. Same with Jeremy Soto. We have reached one of the top 8 schools for Carswell, who's that gem. We're currently number 2, only behind whoever that orange team is. Maddox, we're number 3 right now. Iowa, we're number 4. We're number 6 on Zentner. So we're not in his top 5 yet, but we're probably pretty close. Board, we are not in his top 5, but we're 8th, so we're just barely in the top 8. And Westbrook, we are 5th. So the best one we have chance of landing so far is probably Carswell. So we'll probably still work on Mitch Carswell, and we'll try and work on some other dudes too while we're at it. So let's see. We have our first game this week. Obviously, I'm not too focused on the games right now, but Cobbs has locked us out, which is unfortunate, so we're going to have to remove him from this list. And same with Eric Ellis and all that. I'm surprised we got locked out of some of these people so quick. I thought it was going to take a little bit longer, but unfortunately just did not generate enough interest to be in the top 8 for Eric Ellis. He was a 2-star. And also Tompkins, who we were thinking about maybe. Man, there's so many people that are already locking us out here. We got to work a little bit harder on these dudes, I guess. Some of these guys we never even scouted out at all either. So we got to find those underdogs. Cormier has a lot of interest in us, but he's also quite far behind other people. I'm kind of interested to see how good he is as a safety. So let's find him out as our strong safety. And he's okay, I guess. Maybe we'll, let's just do some searching on him just for fun. Just so we could maybe throw our name into the hat for some people. Johnny Board, where are we on his list? It's number 8. Damn, we're far off UTEP, though. UTEP has a huge lead on every single other team. We might have to look at some other people that like proximity to home. But Carswell, we got to work on a little bit. Let's also search social media on him. I could do contacting friends and family already, but let's do that. See if we could get up and close in the gap on that top team a little bit. Labinho, we are number 1 by a long shot. So we have a good lead on Deontay Labinho, which is kind of nice because I do like his speed game. Everything else is not the best, but speed is really good. So let's keep on working on him too, just since he actually likes us. Aside from that, Truin was somebody I had some interest in, and we are currently number 5. We have a long way to go to catch up to that number 1 school. But Truin was somebody I was kind of interested in before, I think. Let's maybe search social media on him a little bit. We need to probably add some more people to our list here. But Tanyan has not locked us out yet, which is good, but he's probably very close to it. And we're still not in that top 8. I feel like we're not going to have a chance on really getting into that top 8 here. But if we do get into that top 8, then we would be close with a lot of other teams. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to get some 3-star recruits, to be honest, at this rate. Redmond's already somebody that I don't think we're going to get ahead with. Mistrud is somebody that I think we could still land, but it's still going to take work. Humphreys, we have not really looked into him too much. We're number 5, so we could maybe add some stuff here to try and persuade him a little bit more. I don't even know if I'm doing the right thing in this episode, but I don't have really a understanding of what I need to be doing to confirm these guys. I have played, like I said, almost a full season of this before with a different team, but I've never tried doing it with a half a star team, so I don't really know what to expect in terms of toughness and all that. We might as well add some stuff with Branham too, since he's a 3-star guy. Try and get into his top 8. Let's go back also to the prospect list and see if there's anybody we're scouting out. Obviously, it says there's recommended people. Maybe we should go look at some of these recommended. We do our first on a lot of these guys' lists, which is good. There is a 2-star kicker, but we don't necessarily need kickers that crazily. But we could still try and add him to our target list anyways. Let's see what else we got. Is there anybody in a position we actually need? We do need cornerbacks. Let's see. Let's go cornerbacks, see if there's any cornerbacks that are recommended that will be interested in us. Because I almost don't feel like 3-stars are worth looking at right now based on how that first week went. So there is this DeVoe guy who's got 2 stars. playing time is his #1 deal breaker. He could get playing time with us probably, so maybe we could add him to our list to look into. This guy we have is 3rd, Swan, playing time. I wonder if there's any though with like proximity to home as a thing. So we're looking for people that are close to here, so that would help things a bit. Hacker has proximity to home. We could definitely look into Hacker too. All right, let's go back to this, and we'll go back to the bottom of that list and see if we can work on some of these cornerbacks a bit. Let's talk to DeVoe since he has this as #1. Is he interesting? Change of directions in 88. I don't know what that really means. 88 speed, 86 acceleration, 81 agility. I do like that speed. His awareness is trash, though, but he is a fast guy. Maybe we search a little bit on him since we're #1 on his list, so we'll look into Evan DeVoe a little bit more. Bryce Swan. Let's get some info on him. Good speed as well. Awareness is also trash, so pretty similar to the other guy. We'll also search on him, maybe. I just want to get some commitments, but obviously that's going to take a bit still. And then Amir Hacker. Let's see about him. Pretty similar to the others. Does have better awareness, so that might be an interesting thing to prioritize him with. All right. So we'll see if that helps us maybe get ourselves a cornerback. We do have 60 more hours, so let's go back up here and maybe scout out a couple more people. I feel a little bit overwhelmed, I'm not going to lie, with all the stuff going on here. It's really tough to figure out exactly what I'm doing while I'm talking, too. I don't know if Jervy's worth looking into that much. I definitely should probably move some of these people off my board, but I want to take a look at some of these guys fully if I can first. Decent speed, decent strength. So he would be the strong side middle linebacker, right? That's what the saying means. This is the weak one, and that's the other one. Okay. Bowers is not bad, but he used the last of our hours. So we got our first game anyways this week against Wyoming. Let's see what this team does. We're probably going to get pooped on because our team's not very good, but let's go to the next week. See how our first game went. Okay, so according to the updates on all of this, Mistrud has reached his top 5 schools. I hate how it just goes to the next scene right away. I want to kind of read that out first before it goes, but oh well. We will go back to that so you guys can see that a little bit more and I can see a bit more. So Mistrud has reached his top 5 schools. We are currently second only behind whatever that bowl team is. I feel like it's a Texas-based team, but I honestly have no idea. We have not offered him a scholarship yet, so maybe that would be something that helps boost that up a bit. Aside from that, Coate has locked us out, unfortunately. So we will not be able to pick up John Coate. Spencer Heaney has reached his top 5 schools, but we're just outside of the top 3. There's not a lot of teams interested in him other than the team that has first, which is also the team that's in on Mistrud. David Humphreys has us in second. That's not too bad. Labino has us still as #1 by a long shot. I think Deontay Labino is somebody I could easily get if we keep on working on him. The deal breaker is pro potential, so he would be okay with his deal breaker here, so that's good, I think. Provo has reached his top 8 schools. We're probably almost a top 5 school just because the top 5 school has no interest, but I feel like we're still far off of landing him just because the team that's below us and not that good, I can't remember what their name is, but we could have been them. They anyways have a lot of interest on the other teams. John Cleveland, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to land some of these guys. He's locked us out. Frederick Bowers has not us in the top 5 yet. We're in 6th place right now for him. So Labino looks good. Humphreys looks decent. Mistrud looks decent. We just got to keep working on them. Keeney is going to be hard to work on. Same with Provo, I think. But obviously there's a lot of weeks to go. So we'll continue to work on some of those dudes a bit. All right. Let's go back to recruiting and see if we could work on things. We do have also more coins, actually, so maybe I should upgrade those other areas too. I know some of you guys are probably going to want me to wait till the off-season to upgrade stuff more, but let's go back to recruiter here and put another one here, another one here, and another one here. So that way we're at least at 2 out of 4 on all that. And obviously we'll make some different decisions with the points going forward, but let's go back to recruiting here. See what we got. So let's go through each position here. So quarterbacks, I still like Tanyan, but we're not making much progression with him, it seems like. We're going to still keep it on there for now, but it's going to be tough, I feel like, to land him. Redmond, I'm still not really interested in because he's a bust, so I think I'm actually going to remove him. I know he's a 3-star, but might as well. I think Mustrad's worth our time more. So I think we're going to offer Mustrad a scholarship because you are the only team that didn't offer him a scholarship yet, I think, in that top. So we'll offer him a scholarship and see if that helps out things a bit with getting him on our team. We could already sway him and stuff like that, but I'm not going to do that. I don't usually use those unless it's the last little bit, I guess. Humphreys had interest in us too, right? Yeah, we were second on Humphreys' list. We could offer him a scholarship. I feel like it's going to take us a long time to offer 35 scholarships, so let's just try and offer a couple of these guys that were high up on their list a scholarship and see if that helps push things a little bit. We are number 1 on Nick Abraham. Number 1 on Nick Abraham. Let's add DMing him as well. That might be interesting. Halfbacks, we've been locked out by John Coates, so we're going to have to remove him. Unfortunately, I liked his name, but Glenn Trewin, where are we on his list? Second, still behind that first place team by a little bit, but we are making some ground up. I think that's Michigan in third, like the Spartans. That's what it looks like to me. It could be a different team, but it looks like it to me. Trewin's still interesting, so we will add DM the player to him as well. I kind of want Trewin maybe a bit. We haven't scouted guys like Gibbs that much. Oh, yeah, there's also Lapino, who I was first on by a long shot. So let's continue to leave what we have on Labino for now, but we might have to offer him a scholarship soon because I think it would be nice to have Labino because we already have that lead. I'm not too sure if he's going to be a great player by any standard, but let's scout out... maybe we don't need to scout out Gibbs because we already have a lot of guys up here. Let's look at the other positions here a little bit. We don't have a lot of people on our list, so... Heaney, where were we on him? Top 5. Still got a lot of work to do to influence him, though, probably to come here. So let's maybe just search a little bit on him. I don't know if it's going to really help us much, but Carswell, I still have a lot of interest in him since he's a gem. We got to try and find a way to get into first. So I think we're also going to add contact friends and family just to try and get up there. Maybe we could offer him a scholarship too. Yeah, let's do it. I like Carswell, I think. Let's look at some other positions that we need to work on. Cleveland locked us out, so we'll remove him. Vic was kind of good. Damn, that first place team has a huge lead on everybody. I don't think Vic is somebody I could land, to be honest. Same goes with Provo. Like, we could get into Provo's top 4 for sure, but I don't know about his top 3. Offensive linebackers, we're far back on Zentner. This one is going to take some work. This one we could probably still get up there if we look more at the Jervy. So let's find out maybe a bit more about Jervy here. Let's see. Oh man, let's go back to the prospect list a bit. Yeah, this is a little bit overwhelming. I do not know why. Damn, there's not a lot of good players left, probably. There is going to be a lot of players left, but let's recommend... So we're first interested in a lot of these people. We probably don't need wide receivers and stuff, but maybe since we're first on them, we could still throw our name into them. So we might as well find some guys like that. We looked already into DeVoe and all that a little bit. Probably should scout out those guys a little bit more. We're first on the list as well for Abraham, which we've been working on, which is good. Now there's our 2-star guy, a kicker as well. I mean, kickers aren't super crazy important, I guess. I mean, they are important, but they aren't crazy. We could also work on Coco, I guess, since we're second on his list. So let's work on Coco, too. But let's go back to the bottom of this list. And we don't want to go offensive linebacker. We want to go back to every player. So hacker and stuff like that. Oh, man, we're quite far back at these schools. God damn, man. Swan, we're number 1 still. So let's... continue to work on Swan a little bit here. And DeVoe, we are still first as well, so let's find out more about him too. But I want to kind of find more about like Lewis Griffin and Coco too, even though these guys aren't in positions we need, I think. We might as well scout them out a bit because we're first on their list. Speed and acceleration's good. He's a physical route runner. He doesn't look too bad. He's pretty balanced, it looks like, based on those attributes. Coco, let's do some scouting on him too. Yeah, speed mostly, and that's it. All right. Huh. Still 30 more hours. It's hard to spend all the hours during the week too. Let's look at some other dudes, I guess. Let's look at Casey Tolzian. Find out about him. I wish we could find some more gems though, but so far we haven't found anybody. Melvin is a cornerback. Where are we in terms of these guys' list? 7th, 5th, 7th. We could probably try with Kevin Lett a little bit. We don't have any more hours. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to get a full season done in this episode. I feel like I've been taking way too long, so I think we're going to go through a couple more weeks, and then we'll probably break the season into 2 chunks and then do an off-season in some part. I honestly don't know, but I feel like it's really tough to go through 15 weeks or whatever it is and scout out players every single week. So let's advance to next week, and we will see if we get any updates on those players we're looking into. But yeah, I think we're only going to do maybe one more week just because this episode I feel like has already run a little bit long, but could be wrong. So we are leveling up a little bit, which is good. And championship contenders dropped down to a D-. Not really surprised though. Recruiting update. So we are now first for Mitch Carswell. I think we already were first, but maybe not. So that's good to see. Actually, no, we were second place before because the other team dropped off a little bit, I think. Vic, we are still not in his top 3, but we're just outside of the top 3. I don't know if we're still going to catch that first place team. Abram, we're number 1 still for this quarterback, so that's kind of nice. 2-star quarterback. Does want brand exposure and stuff like that. He's not a proximity to home player. We should probably look at some proximity to home players so we don't losing them. Or risk losing them, I should say. Truitt, we're number 1 by a little bit. Not too bad because he does have proximity to home. Coates, we are not in his top 5. We're in 7th right now. DeVoe, we are number 1 by a long shot, so that's good to see. Because he would get playing time probably here. And then Swan also wants playing time, so we might have to prioritize one of the 2 of these guys. Because I don't know if you play multiple cornerbacks. I don't know stuff like I said with football. So, Alright. Let's do one more week of doing some recruiting stuff. But our team's 1-1, so actually we did already win a game this season. Was that last week that we won? How do I take a look at the schedule? Let's see. Where is the schedule? Doesn't even show it, I don't think, on this. Where is the schedule? Oh, there you go. Scores and schedule, because we've already won one game, which is surprising. Didn't expect to win a game really at all this season. So we lost 48-10 against Nebraska. And in week 1, we actually won against Wyoming. 48-34. Huh. How good of a school is Wyoming? We can actually take a look at the box score, which is kind of cool too. I don't know how good of a school Wyoming is, but that could be a nice, considerable win. I am kind of surprised. Like, I don't know where Wyoming ranks in terms of the entire college football experience, but damn. All right. Well, let's continue recruiting. We're going to do one more week of recruiting just because like I said, I feel like it's going to take us way too long to scout out so much every single episode or recruit. Let's try and get some people close to not necessarily guaranteeing a spot, but locking us into their top 3 or something like that. So Tanyan, we're still not in his top bid. I feel like he's just taking his time to make a decision because he hasn't locked in his top 8 yet. So we might be able to still work on him. Actually, wait a sec. We don't reach his deal breaker? Oh, no, we do. Wait. What's that symbol, though? It looks like it says we don't have his deal breaker. I don't really know. Anyways, Mistrud, we are still number 2. So we could definitely still work on him. Probably keep all that stuff the same for now. But we aren't really that close to that top school still. Which kind of sucks because I feel like he would be the quarterback to get for us. But the good thing is we're number 1 on Abrams, so maybe it doesn't matter that much. Let's continue to work on him a little bit. Let's offer him a scholarship just because if we don't land Mistrud, Abraham might be the next best option in that sense. I know I'm already offering scholarships, but might as well do it to try and get people in the door. Truitt, we're still number 1, but not by much. I could offer him a scholarship already, but I don't think the second place team has offered him a scholarship already. That's interesting. Let's contact his friends and family. And Labinho, we were number 1 on him as well by a long shot, so we don't need to really do too much more than we're currently doing on him, because we're going to be in his top 5 for sure, and we probably will be able to land him. Fullback, we don't have anybody there. There was this wide receiver that I was thinking of scouting out. It doesn't say 100%, that's kind of weird. Let's find out a little bit more on Lewis Griffin, I guess. Consider him our first place by a little bit right now. He might not be that bad. This one, I don't think we're going to land Heaney. I feel like Heaney is going to be way too tough to land. I might honestly remove him, but we are in the top 5 schools, but need a lot of work right now. Carswell, we're still number 1, but not by much. And we can also schedule a visit with him, so I think we're going to actually remove the friends and family thing. We are going to schedule a visit for him because he's a gem and all that. Who do we have a good chance at beating? Maybe the CMU team. They're 0-2. I don't feel like we have a good chance of beating a lot of teams. I want to have a good impression on them. There's also this game against Kent. Let's let him come see this game against CMU. If we win that game, it'll help us go up by 1 thing of interest. It's not a crazy amount. Like, obviously, the higher-end teams, if we beat them, he gets a lot more interest. But this is a lower-end team. I could just let him come in the bye week so there's no gain or influence whatsoever. But let's let him come to this game against that 0-2 team and hope that we actually win that game. And since proximity home is important to him, we will basically do a family visit with that. So he'll come visit us. That'll be our first player to come visit our team. We're on 85 hours. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I feel like this is really tough to put into one episode. Like, I still don't know really the structure of these episodes and how they're going to run, but it's a lot of work just trying to recruit people and find the right players. Let's see. Coco, I already scouted him fully. Is there anybody I wanted to scout at that I haven't? Let me actually go not fully scouted. So we scouted it a little bit on some of these guys, but not enough. Or actually, we never scouted any of these dudes. I guess we should probably scout out on Let a little bit. Maybe actually we've scouted out some quarterbacks before. So maybe I'll scout out somebody like Iowa, because he's got a cool last name. And then it's just jumps off my list. That's kind of annoying. What position was Iowa even? Why does it remove it from the list after I 100% scout him? I know it's on not scouted, but where was Iowa again? Because I want to know what he's looking like. Because it moved too quick. Oh man, I am feeling stressed for no reason here. Yeah, okay, he's not crazy. But that should give us a little bit of interest. I don't know if we're going to be able to land him either. Seems like that one school's always in the running for a lot of the same guys we are. So I think right now our best players that we have chances to land is like Carswell and then a couple of the other guys that we had. We might have to favorite some of our prospects as well, so we know who we want to go after the most. So I think I'm going to favorite Mistrud for now. So I keep him on my list. Actually, not Mistrud necessarily. I think we could still land Mistrud, but it's going to take some work. We're also going to favorite Abram for now. We're going to put Humphreys on that same list, just so I could kind of know that I want to look at these guys the most. Truin, we're number 1, so we might as well keep him on number 1. Labinho as well. I'm trying to see who else. We're number 1 for Griffin right now. We might as well add him, even though he's a newer prospect, and I don't really need him that much. Carswell, we'll favorite you. Just so I kind of know who we should be targeting the most in the next episode. Jervy has us as number 1, which is kind of surprising. Let's add Jervy to that list too. And let's also maybe do a little bit more work on him. Just because we could use always some players in this position. Aside from that, let me actually go back to this for a second so we can actually see where we are in terms of ranking. Coco has a second. Yeah, Coco's not bad, I guess. We could favorite him as well for the time being. Just so I kind of know if I want to target him still. I do like DeVoe, and I do also like Swan, but I'm not sure who I would prioritize over the two of them. So we'll get both of them in there. Hacker, we're kind of far back, but we're still in the race. I'm not sure if he's the better of the one. I think he had the better awareness, so maybe we want to put him on there, but for now I won't. Cormier has this as number 2 as the strong safety. Sure, we will DM him as well, and we'll add him to our favorite list for the time being. We didn't scout out this kicker at all, but he had interest in us before, so we will try and find out some stuff on him a bit. His kick power is good, his accuracy is decent. I mean, that's pretty much all you really need, I guess. So Rico Sambrario might be interesting to look into, but I think... yeah, I think we know kind of who we want to look into a little bit more, and then some of these people we might have to remove from our list and look for more, but if we go to our favorites now, at least we know now unnecessarily on who I probably want to be working on more in the next episode. I'm not too sure if these are the right calls to work on these guys, but honestly, I feel a little bit overwhelmed in this episode, and I don't really know if I'm making the right calls with who I'm potentially looking at. I don't think we would have had a chance to land anybody above a 2-star recruit anyways, but it looked like a lot of those 3-stars kind of locked us out quite early on. So who do you guys think we should be working on the most in this next episode? Like, who should we try and basically continue to target the most? Also, if we go to this prospect list, let me actually put my face back on the screen for the time being. But is there any players here that you'd actually want me to still go for? Because there's a lot of people that still have us actually in first place on their interest boards. But I don't really know if we need these positions that much. But is there anybody you would look into for this team? This is on the recommended tab too. So these are all 2-stars and lower. I don't think we're going to be able to land ourselves a 3-star recruit. If we go to 3-star recruits anyways too, there's nobody that has us in interest, I don't think. This guy has us 10th, but he's locked us out. Oh, it's the Tanyan guy I was looking into. Oh, no, he doesn't have us locked out yet, but we're 10th on his list. So we might be able to still work on Thad Tanyan, but I think it's going to need a lot of work. Everybody else doesn't have any interest in us right now, so we'd have to start now. So if there's anybody with low interest by any team, then it might work out for us, but I feel like 3-stars are probably a waste of time right now, and locking in those 2-stars and then eventually going to 3-stars and 4-star prospects would work, because it's really tough to land these type of guys as a low-end school, I think. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Akron Zips Dynasty mode. So, like I said, a little bit of an overwhelming episode for me, to be honest. I honestly don't know if I was targeting the right players, but it's these early years that obviously we will kind of figure out how the series is going to run a little bit more. We'll see if, obviously, we get any commitments in the next episode. My plan is to probably get the rest of the season done in the next episode. This episode is kind of a little bit all over the place, but I think now that we know which players we have interest in and stuff like that and have interest in us, I think I know a little bit more of what we should be targeting more so in the rest of the season, but there might be some players that we haven't targeted yet that we could still add and look into. So we have a lot of time to bring in players, but definitely, like I said, I was a little stressed out in this episode, so hopefully you guys still enjoyed it anyways. So let me know down below, and I'll see you guys next time.